Start your day with stories that make a difference. Join Samm Marshall on the Social Impact Show. Weekdays 9 to 12 on 919 FM.
This morning, we are turning the spotlight onto the world of procurement, a sector that quietly shapes how government and business spend billions, but also one that sits at the center of tackling corruption, driving economic inclusion, and building a more sustainable future. Now, starting today, over 2,000 procurement leaders will gather in Johannesburg for the 19th annual Smart Procurement World Indaba, a powerful platform for change. I'm joined by, on the line, she's very busy, so we appreciate that she's made the time, Debbie Tagg, who's the CEO of Smart Procurement, to talk to us about what we can expect at this year's event. Debbie, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you for having us. And yes, it's always tricky to do interviews on the build-up day. We are running around getting everything set up, but it's going like we anticipate, and we're very excited for the 19th annual. We are sitting on record attendees, and hopefully the listeners that are valuing building their businesses or engaging with procurement and buyers can still make use of coming to the event.
Yeah, and I appreciate you putting in the time and effort to chat to us. I know this is the craziest thing, to take an interview while you're in the middle of all of this, but we appreciate it. Let's talk about this record attendance, because I think, Debbie, and I'm happy to be corrected by you, if you have record numbers attending a procurement summit, and we are currently in the current climate of South Africa, realize how much fraud and corruption is happening around procurement. We've seen whistleblowers being murdered related to procurement issues, and that's not really the question I want you to answer, but I want to get a sense of, in 2025, the importance of having a world smart procurement conversation in the context of being able to build a sustainable future. I'd like for you to reflect for me on that, because I think your Indaba is now become even more important. Not to say that it hasn't been important years before, but I feel that in the current climate, we need to have these conversations even more.
100%. I think it's also important to highlight that whilst by the title, it's Smart Procurement World, remember at the same time we're hosting the Absa Enterprise Supply Development Expo. So it actually is the largest market access platform for business to procurement audience. And I know we think around corruption, but remember that's just from a government perspective. I think what's very encouraging and where Smart Procurement over the years plays an important role is it brings both public and private sector together. And it focuses on leveraging across those two sectors from procurement professionals' point of view. Also, keep in mind that sometimes the corruption is not necessarily the procurement practitioner. It also comes from other levels. So how do we as a profession protect and, yes, have accountability, but at the same time, minimize the impact or the scapegoatness? That's not really a word, but that does happen. But I think for us, the event does take a very positive approach to procurement from professionalization. And then the most fulfilling for us really is the fact that we have almost 400 small businesses that are being hosted or attending. They are hosted by corporates that are committed to enterprise development and to local sourcing. We have almost 65 corporates that are bringing their buying teams to engage with these ones. And then also for your audience to understand, on Wednesday the 17th is when we open the doors to the business public. So anyone that is in business can come and meet with other colleagues and other small businesses, but also we open up the shows for them to be able to engage with these buyers as well through our supply match-up process. And attend theatres. So it's a much more positive, hopefully, approach to what's going on in procurement. In the procurement conference, we will be dealing with some of these big topics, but I think the the intent always with this event is to take a positive spin around the industry.
100%. And what I also love, what you've done for us, Debbie, especially for me, I'm not going to lie, you often think of procurement as one kind of linear thing related to financing and creating access and opportunities within an organization. But this idea that your procurement world Indaba, the smart one, is really speaking to not just the issues of procurement, but supply development. You've brought in many stakeholders. You're bringing in organizations and institutions that provide access. And I think the important thing with an event like this is that it actually provides access, that it actually does open up the spaces for newer players, for different groups, whether they're able to disabled, to come into the space and learn from the space. And that's what I always love about these conversations that we have in the forms of these 3-4 day events.
Exactly. And we can create, or what we're highlighting is that procurement has a very powerful influence on economic development, and specifically even in the public sector around service delivery and local sourcing. So that always will underpin the intent of the event and the practicality of how that can be done through various procurement mechanisms.
Let's talk about some of the big ticket items. It's a record-breaking event this year.
Yes.
What are some of the elements? You've already highlighted some of it. You're bringing in buying teams. Government will be there. You've got the Absa event. What else can you expect over the 3 days?
We also have Gauteng Treasury on site to assist businesses around how to register on the central supplier database. Their team is there to help, so anyone coming on the open day, you can bring all your documents. Once you've actually registered as a visitor, you get notified what those documents are, and they will help you get onto that database to access government opportunities, which is great. And then we have our on-floor knowledge hub or theatre, where we've got almost 15 topics. We've got big corporates talking about how to do business with them from their procurement teams, how to do business with MTN, BP, etc. And then we also have our SME clinic help desks to help small business as well. We've got lawyers on site, marketers on site. So anyone, it's kind of free consultants that you can engage with around issues or opportunities as well. Also keep in mind that the SMEs that are being hosted by corporates like Sasol, Afristan, BP. They are there with their teams representing their enterprise supply development programs. So that's also an opportunity as a small business to see if you could access any of those support programs that these corporates host.
I love the theme this year. It feels to me like everybody's action ready, because the theme this year is game on, it's time to step up. That's very deliberate, that's very engaging, that's in your face. Talk to me about the theme and why it's very action orientated.
It is, absolutely. We went with the game on theme, so if you do come and visit and come and see the show, you'll see it all over. We've had a lot of fun with it. And yes, that's exactly what it is. What are the strategies to take your business to the next level? Even the event has gamification in it, so it's going to be a lot of fun. We've used technology, and I think no one will be disappointed taking the time out to come and visit.
One of the things I don't often get to think about, but obviously you guys did, was this. One of the sessions will look at renewable energy and its potential for socioeconomic growth. Yes.
So we actually co-host another event. This is a very big animal. We have the 5th Annual Sustainability Summit that is run at the event this week as well. So that's another benefit if that's your area of interest, represented also at the Expo by our Green Zone. So sustainability cannot be ignored. I think within the South African context, we still do grapple with the practicality of how that is done. So energy and renewable energy is definitely one of the, don't want to say easy wins, but the more obvious areas that sustainability is being addressed. But we look at it at all legs. And we also hone in then on the second day around what does sustainable procurement mean as well. This is done, the Sustainable Summit is done in partnership with Deloitte, So very, very high-level in-depth program, but also focusing on the practicalities of the various areas of what we would call ESG, which is your environment, social, and governance.
Yeah. As we wrap up, I wanted to just get a sense from you, the context of the conversation at the Smart Procurement World Indaba is that it's happening in the same year as the G20. It's happening in a year where America has kind of repositioned itself in its relations to the rest of the world. It happens almost immediately after our national dialogue, and this just feels like it's a year with so much stuff happening, right? And I just wanted to get a sense of how you guys as leaders are reflecting on just so much happening in this year, and then having this conversation kind of happen in the middle of it. Are you feeling the effects of it? Have you seen kind of interest peak from different corners of the world in relation to this?
I think not just about interest. You keep in mind that procurement and supply chain is heavily impacted by what the global world is doing. And so I think that is very much a big discussion point around how do you manage the risks and kind of future-proof your business and have resilience as well, next time Trump says something. So that is, we look at that from a content perspective. Are we seeing it dip or highs and lows around the event? I would say, which is our celebration, is that we have seen a recovery from our industry. This year is back to what 2019 pre-COVID was. It's good to see the big corporates engaging with SMEs again. So we have a very positive feeling coming out of this event, and just in the way that the industry seems to have settled a little bit from the COVID times. However, we can't ignore all these other drastic things that are happening, but that's why we bring everyone together to see. We actually host a very special breakfast with 200 heads of procurement, where we'll be having roundtable discussions on exactly these topics that you mentioned. So I think all it's doing is igniting the relevance of these topics and looking at solutions.
Debbie Tagg, thank you very much. We appreciate that you made the time to have a chat to us.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you so much. Keep up the good work, and we do hope to see some of the listeners on site on Wednesday.
I hope so too. Great.
All right.
Thank
you so much, Ben.
That's Debbie Tagg, CEO of the Smart Procurement World Indaba, talking to us about this powerful platform for change and the spotlight that they turn onto the world of procurement, a sector that is quietly shaping how government and business spend billions, but one that is sits at the center and to what Debbie was talking about, that sometimes it's not just in procurement, but at the center of tackling corruption, driving economic change, inclusion, and building a more sustainable future. She's literally said on Wednesday, it's open to the public. If you're a business and you need to find out more about how procurement can change the trajectory of your business, go and find out a little bit more. There's a sustainability summit that's happening under the theme of global goals, local impact. There is also the Absa ESD Expo, which is happening within the Indaba. And then maybe as a final point is that the theme this year, which really gets me excited when we talk about action, is Game On, It's Time to Step Up. So find out a little bit more. Go to their platform. It's Smart Procurement World Indaba. Find out more. Over 2,000 procurement leaders will gather in Johannesburg. Wrap your mind around that.
Sitting in your office chair or behind your steering wheel,